Hello everyone, Patty Pite is here, Mrs. Beaver International 2017. And if you're not familiar with the Mrs. International pageant system, it is platform based, meaning each contestant shares and supports a important cause to her throughout her year. And my platform is growing your family through the option of adoption. In 2008, my husband and I started our journey of adoption, and I've been an advocate and ambassador for the Gladney Center for Adoption and the Gladney Family Association since 2008. And I'm very excited to have with me the director of the Gladney Family Association Network, Wendy Lee. And she is going to speak to us a little bit about Gladney, a little bit about the Triad, and a little bit about Gladney's PALE program. So welcome, Wendy. I'm so excited to have you here with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So share a little bit of history about Gladney and what they do to support the Triad.
Sure. We're the Gladney Center for Adoption. Our headquarters are in Fort Worth, Texas, and we've been around since 1887. It's hard to believe, but this year we're celebrating 130 years of creating bright futures through adoption. It's a very exciting time for Gladney.
That's great.
Yes, we have regional offices as well in several places across the country. Tampa, Oklahoma, and then also we have a really unique network called the Gladney Family Association, and that's how I got to know Patty. She's a very active volunteer in our association in Pittsburgh. We have 16 of these associations across the nation, 7 in Texas. They're all the way from New York City out east, all the way to out west in the Pacific Northwest. The mission of these Gladney Family Associations are to connect adoptive families. And we're able to do that through fun social events for adoptive families to come together, meet, support one another, and develop lifelong friendships for both parents and adoptees. They also raise money and awareness for Gladney. Outreach is a huge piece of what we do. We want to make sure that every young woman facing an unplanned pregnancy is aware of adoption as a loving option.
Absolutely.
And then also they raise money for Gladney. So Patty, like I said, is on the board for the Pittsburgh Gladney Family Association, and one of the programs that we offer through the GFA is called the PAL program, and that stands for Personal Adoption Liaison. And this is really a great program because as families are approved by the Gladney Center for Adoption and they're going to work with us, there is a wait, and that wait can vary depending upon what program they're in. Gladney has 3 active programs today. We have our domestic infant program. We have our international program. Right now, we are offering adoption through Colombia, China, and Taiwan. And then we also have a program adopting through the Texas State Foster Care System called New Beginnings. So as I mentioned, your weight can vary depending upon what program you're in. So it's very important that you have somebody that you can ask questions to and that can share their experience. All adoption journeys are unique, but there's definitely common things like developing friendships and getting to know other families in the adoption community where you are. So the PAL program gives a chance for our seasoned families who have been through the program to basically just love on and support our waiting families.
It is a great program. I'm sorry, Wendy. It's a great program, and they're, as a PALE mentor, as a personal adoption liaison, the best feeling ever is when you get the call from a waiting adoptive family that they have been placed with a child. And, you can just hear their excitement, and you're just so happy to be a part of that journey with them. And, I'll never forget when Todd and I were going through our journey, and we were waiting, and we waited 22 months, that we didn't have the PAL program at the time, but we had support from other waiting adoptive families. And one wonderful lady, Mary Beth, said to me, "Honey, this will happen." And it did, and I'll never forget that. So it's just a great program. I really thank Gladney for creating the PAL program and giving me the honor to be part of it. Thank you, Wendy.
Oh, we're so grateful for you.
Oh, thanks. So talk a little bit about the Triad, because Gladney supports all members of the Triad, what the Triad is, and how Gladney supports them.
Sure. Well, we've got our post-adoption department is very active. It's a very unique part of the Gladney Center for Adoption. And our GFAs, as I mentioned earlier, are a part of the post-adoption department, but we basically offer services and support lifelong for all sides of the adoption triad, and that would include adoptive parents, birth parents, and adoptees. Essentially, an easy way to explain it would be that we have a 1-800 number and an email where somebody will always be available to provide counseling, services, and support, whether that involves travel and coming to visit with a family face-to-face or offering those services over the phone. We are there for everyone throughout their life. So that's something we're really proud of at Gladney.
And you should be, because a lot of people don't understand that adoption is truly a lifelong journey. And there are times after we adopted our little girl that I have reached out to Gladney, to the professional staff, with questions that have come up over the past 7 years after we adopted, and they're right there for you. And it's very refreshing, and to have the support and really appreciated, because I know that I can always depend on Gladney if we ever have questions down the road concerning our adoption journey as well.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We greatly appreciate that. Our adoptive parents do so much for birth parents. Our GFA volunteers are always actively doing drives for gently used or new maternity clothes for all of our expectant mothers, either living in the dorm on campus at Gladney or in the community as well. And they also have an opportunity to come into the dorm in Fort Worth and basically bring in some fun activities. It could be doing pedicures or manicures with the girls. It could be working on interviewing skills, teaching them cooking skills, anything that they're interested in that would help them in their next steps as they leave the Gladney Center. So one of the programs that we have is called Next Steps, and it's essentially just ensuring that all of our expectant mothers, they leave Gladney in a much better place than they found us. And we help them with their next steps regarding education, employment, housing, and any skill set you can imagine. They leave us in a much better place.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I've been to Gladney a couple times, and I've toured the birth mother suites, and they're just beautiful. And, I know the birth mothers probably really appreciate everything that Gladney does for them. And I appreciate all the birth moms, especially our birth mom. She's an amazing young lady, and I feel very blessed, and so does my husband, that she chose us to take care of her child and to raise her as our own. So we're very appreciative.
It's definitely the most selfless decision that somebody can make.
Absolutely.
And all of our birth parents are so brave.
They absolutely are. Well, Wendy, I just want to thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it. Is there one last thing that you'd like to share with us before we end the interview?
No, I think that's it. We wish you the best of luck in your pageant, and you're a rock star, so you've got this.
Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate it.